So today is October 1st, and that means that is the start of Halloween sets for me. I have mentioned in a couple previous videos as well as on my community tab or my post tab. They've changed what the community tab is now. But anyhow, I posted that I was planning on uploading a video every single day for October for different Halloween sets. I did do this a couple years ago, and it was a lot of work, but it's super fun, and I always have a ton of Halloween ideas anyhow, so even though it's a lot of work, it's really not that difficult for me because, like I said, I do have a ton of ideas when it comes to Halloween sets. Halloween is my favorite holiday, and I just love all the different designs and stuff that you can do for Halloween. So anyhow, with it being October 1st, and this is my first Halloween video, I wanted to start off with something fun and pretty easy. I do feel like beginners could do this. It is just some Halloween leopard print nails, and it's not just like leopard print in Halloween colors, which obviously you could do that if you wanted to, but these leopard print nails have like added Halloween designs on them. By looking at the thumbnail, you already know like kind of what I mean by added Halloween elements to the design, but I will also explain that when we get there. But to start off for this set, I'm just painting all the bases of the nails. I did one nail white, two nails gray, one nail purple, and one nail green, just because I felt like those colors were going to match the best with the designs that I'm putting on top. I did do 2 coats of each of the base colors, and I cured each coat for 60 seconds. And then after getting those done, I'm just going in and doing the leopard prints. And for this white one here, I am doing the ghost face mask on here. And this is what originally inspired this entire set. I saw a ghost face leopard print design on Pinterest, and I thought that was super cool, and it would be cool to do for nails, but also like do different types of Halloween designs as well. So I'm just taking my dotting tool and I'm doing like the ghost face mask. It's kind of like an ice cream cone shape with like ice cream kind of dripping off the sides, if that makes any sense. You can do this with a liner brush or a nail art brush if you find it easier to do that. I just did it with a dotting tool because I always do my leopard print with a dotting tool. And so I just went ahead and did all of these designs with the dotting tool, except for, I think it's the purple nail. That one I did use a liner brush for that one, but I'll get to that in a minute. So to do the ghost face mask, I just do like the ice cream scoop first, so like that rounded part, and then I drag it down to create like the cone part, so more of a triangle shape. And then for like the eye part of the mask, I just kind of do 2 little dots there on either side to get that ghost face mask shape. And then I'm just going in around those. I only did 3 of those on this nail because I didn't want to make them too big on the nail, because I do still have to do the face on them, so I had to make them big enough to where I could do the face on the mask, but I didn't want them to be super big, but I also didn't want them to be too small, so I just stuck with doing 3, and then all of the rest of the spots on here are just your normal leopard print spots. And then once I got those on, I did cure for 60 seconds. Now I'm taking my black and a dotting tool and just going around and outlining how I would with normal leopard print. So just kind of doing um, a little bit of outlining on it on some spots and like not fully outlining all of them, leaving some gaps between the outlines and like just how you do a normal leopard print, but it's just a different shape and not the normal blob. But also outlining it enough to where you can tell that it's supposed to be the ghost face mask. And then for the face, I actually did come in with a nail art brush. This is a 5mm liner brush. Um, just because I am doing such a teeny tiny little face, I needed this teeny tiny little brush that could do those teeny tiny little details. So I did use a 5mm liner brush to do that, and I did the face. Um, it's kind of hard to see me doing the face, but I just do the little like kidney bean shaped eyes, and then I do like the long oval for the mouth, and then I do kind of do the like little upside down kind of heart for the nose. And then I went back to outlining the rest of the spots just the way that I normally would for some leopard print. And I did go in and outline the other two ghost face masks and then did the face on those as well. If you wanted to, you could go in and do the face first, but I felt like, for me at least, it was easier to get the outline done first and then come in and do the face. That way I wouldn't, like the face wouldn't run into the outline at all, if that makes any sense. Like, I could better gauge where the face needed to go and like the proportions for it. With the outline being on there. So I just went ahead and finished outlining all of the rest of the spots, including the ghost face spots, and then went back in and did those last two faces on them instead of going back and forth between the brush and the liner. Yeah, the liner. I am so confused right now. Hold on. The liner brush and the dotting tool. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to say, but that was like a tongue twister or something. But anyhow, instead of switching back and forth constantly between the two, I just decided to go through, do all the outlining with the dotting tool first, and then go in with the liner brush. But like I said earlier, you can do this entire design with a liner brush if you wanted to, if you didn't want to switch back and forth between a dotting tool and a liner brush. But like I said, personally for me, I find it easier to do leopard print with a dotting tool over a liner brush. So that's why I use a dotting tool for all my leopard print, except for doing any of the little details, like if there's faces on anything, I do use the liner brush because it's a lot smaller than the dotting tool. But anyhow, after I get all of the outlining done and all of the faces done on here, I do go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. I forgot to mention before, I also did the faces on the other two masks. I did go in and add in all those other little black spots in between the like gray spots as well that you would add for a leopard print. So I did those before I went in with the faces, and then after I got the faces done, I did cure for a full 60 seconds. So for this gray one here, I decided to do skull shaped leopard prints. So I just start out with a circle for the like head shape of the skull, and then for the like jaw part, I did like a upside down, or not an upside down, a triangle. So like the point is up in like the head, and then you have like the base of it, if that makes any sense. So I just went through, did a few of these. I don't remember how many I did of these little skulls. I think I was able to fit more of these on this nail than I was for the ghost face one, because the ghost face was a little bit bigger and took up a little more room. Although I still feel like I probably could have got at least one more ghost face on the thumb, but also I was a little afraid to add any more on there. But anyhow, like I said, just did the circles and then drew on like a triangle on there to create that jaw shape. It really doesn't look like a skull yet, but once you add on all the little details on there, it does start to look more like a skull. They also kind of, at this point right here, look like light bulbs or even mushrooms. So if that makes it a little easier to figure out how to draw these on the nail, just think of like a light bulb shape or even a mushroom shape, and maybe that'll make it easier for you. But like I said, it's just a circle with a triangle. So the point of, like the top point of the triangle is up inside of the skull, like the head part, and then the bottom part of the triangle is what creates the jaw. And then once I got all those little skull shapes on that I wanted, I just went in, filled in the extra space with some more just random white blobs for the leopard print. And then once I got those on, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds before coming in and doing my outlining again with the um, dotting tool. And I use a smaller sized dotting tool whenever I do the outlining to get like thinner lines, uh, instead of using a larger one and getting bigger lines on the outside. And for the skulls, I made sure for all of them to outline like the jaw part to really get that skull shape and look to them. And then for like the head part, I just kind of did it like a normal leopard print where you do like the C shapes and like you don't fully connect them, if that makes any sense. You can see better like watching it. I think makes more sense than me trying to explain it. But like I said, I really wanted to make sure that you could tell that they were skulls, so I felt like it was really important to make sure that the jaw part was really defined when outlining them, because I feel like that's what really made it look like a skull rather than like a weird shaped spot, you know? So then, just like I did with the ghost face nail, I went through, outlined everything, did all the little black spots in the background, and then came in after that and did the faces on the skulls. And when I was doing the black part, like the outlining part, and all those little extra black spots in the background, I didn't cure in between. I just got all of that on and then cured after it was all on. But if you feel more comfortable like flash curing in between, then you can flash cure in between whenever you feel like you need to. That way you're not, bumping any of the lines or messing up anything. That way it's like stuck on there and it's not going to get messed up. And if you do mess up, you can easily wipe off what you messed up without disrupting the rest of the design. But I felt comfortable enough just going in and doing all of the black outlining and spots and the faces all at once instead of flash curing. So like I said earlier, I am uploading a video every single day this month. It's going to be a different Halloween design every day. They are going to all be uploaded at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I think it's called. I just say Arizona time because I'm in Arizona, and Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time. But I think for everyone else, it's like Mountain Standard Time. Actually, there is a place in Arizona that does do daylight savings time. I think it's like one of the native reserves that does it, if I'm remembering that correctly. But anyhow, the majority of Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time, so yeah, it's Mountain Standard Time, I'm pretty sure is what we're called. So 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Arizona time, whatever you want to call it. Every single day this month. It's gonna be super fun, hopefully, for you guys to watch all this. You also might get annoyed seeing me upload every day. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to watch every single video unless you want to. That'd be cool if you wanted to. Here I am doing the faces. Again, just going in with that 5mm liner brush, just doing some circles for the eyes, and then just kind of doing like another, like how I did on the ghost face mask, like a upside down kind of heart for the nose. I didn't really do any like teeth or anything because I didn't really have the space, but also I feel like just doing it like this gave enough of the details for you to tell that it is a skull. And apparently I did the spots after the faces. I know I said earlier that I did the spots first and then the faces, but Uh, I lied. Anyhow, back to what I was saying. Yeah, video every single day this month. I'm super excited. I've worked really hard on all of these sets, and I tried to do all kinds of different types of designs and different like levels of design. So like, if you're a beginner or if you're more advanced in doing nail art, like hopefully you can find something within all of these videos that I'm uploading that you could do. Like I said, I feel like this one, because it is leopard print, even though, some of the spots are a little extra, I do feel like beginners can do this because it's pretty simple. You really only need a dotting tool for it, and like, I didn't do super difficult kind of designs for the spots. Um, except for the bat maybe a little on the more difficult side to do for a beginner, but honestly, I low-key kind of feel like it's not that difficult, but I don't know, some people might find doing a bat difficult, but like I said, there are other designs here. There's the ghost face, there's the skulls, there's this here, which I'm doing is a ghost. I just do like um, I guess the upside down U would be the best kind of way to describe that, or like half an oval even. And then I kind of try to make the bottom part of it look a little wavy to give it a little movement like a ghost. And then just two little arms on either side of it to, I don't know, make it a fun little ghost that has little arms. Instead of it just being like a half a oval or whatever. I felt like adding the arms kind of made it look more ghost-like. And I only did 3 of these. That's all I could fit on there. But like I said, most of this set is pretty easy, and like you don't have to do a different one on each nail like I did. I just wanted to show a variety of different things you could do instead of just doing the entire nail set having ghost face across the nail, because not everyone's into ghost face. Honestly, I'm sick of seeing ghost face for Halloween designs. Every year it's ghost face, ghost face, ghost face, ghost face, and I'm sick of it. Like, I get it, he's super easy to do. Beginners can easily draw a simple basic ghost face. You can also, like, if you're more advanced, can make it super detailed and more realistic and all of that. But like I said, I'm sick of seeing him. It's always Ghostface every year. I'm like, I want to see other spooky characters and stuff. And also now, within the last couple years, Art the Clown has been popping up a lot more because so many people are into those Terrifier movies and whatever. I'm not, nor will I ever watch those. I hate clowns, can't stand them, won't watch any clown movie. Definitely not gonna watch that. But I just know, like, Ghostface is a huge, like, staple, I guess, for Halloween. And now I feel like Terrifier is becoming a staple in Halloween, too. And I'm not sick of seeing Art and, like, Terrifier nails yet, because it has only been, like, a couple years, but we've been seeing Ghostface for so long, and he's always the, like, main character for nail art all the time now. So, like I said, I wanted to show you some different options if you're not into Ghostface, like, if you want to do the skulls, or if you want to do ghosts, or pumpkins, or bats. And obviously there's, like, so many other different things you could do as well. These are just some ideas that you could do. You could do cats, or eyeballs, or candy corn. You probably use spiders too. Spider webs. Um, you can get really creative with it. So what I show you don't have to do. It's just kind of like an idea or like a starting point, if you will. Um, and I'm like not explaining anything that's going on in the video right now, but you can see here on the screen, I'm just going in and doing the outlines. Again, just basic outlining like I do for everything else. Just kind of trying to outline the ghosts in a way that you can tell they're ghosts. That's like the main thing for this design. No matter what you're doing, whether you're doing the ghosts or the pumpkins or the bats or whatever, you do want to outline those dots in a way that you can tell that they're not just random weird shaped dots, but they're like a specific design. So you want to outline the ghosts to tell that you can tell that they're ghosts. Or like when you do the pumpkins, you want to make sure that you're outlining them in a way that you can tell they are pumpkins and not, like I said, not just a random blob. Um, so I keep going back and forth on what I'm saying, between nail art and trying to tell you about this month. Um, so yeah, I just tried to make sure that I was doing like different kinds of designs, from beginner friendly to more advanced designs. I also tried to, when it came to the themes of the sets that I was doing, I tried to do different kind of themes that would fit for whatever you like when it comes to Halloween, because some people like more cutesy Halloween stuff. Some people like more scary and like more gory type of Halloween things. Some people want to do Halloween nails, but they don't necessarily want it to be like in your face Halloween. They want it a little more subtle. So I tried to make sure I was doing different variety of nail designs and like nail art to fit everybody in, so everybody has like something that they could look at and be like, oh, that's a really good idea, or like, get other ideas off of what I was doing. Because like I said, while I am doing these as like tutorials on how to do specific things and specific sets, you don't necessarily have to do it exactly like how I'm doing or do the set the exact same way. You can take certain elements and use those for different sets, or like you'll see something and it like inspires you to do something completely different, but like kind of the same. So these are all just kind of inspirations, to give you some ideas for different Halloween sets that you can do yourself, or if you're not someone who does nails, like you don't do your own nails, or what am I trying to say? Sometimes I start talking and I'm like saying stuff, and then halfway through I'm like, what am I even saying? But anyhow, what I'm trying to say is, if you're not someone who does nails or like does your own nails, but you need inspiration to take to like your nail tech or whatever, or have someone else do your nails, then you could use these as inspiration for that too. Also, if any of you guys do recreate any of these, or if you do go to a nail tech or have like your friend or whatever do your nails and you use one of my designs as an idea, I would love it if you guys would tag me in pictures or videos or whatever, so I could see them, because that'd be really cool. Like, I've had some of you comment before that you're going to recreate one of my designs, or like try a design of mine or something, and I absolutely love that. And I would really, really, really love it if you guys would tag me in them, whether you post on Instagram or TikTok or even here on YouTube. Like, just tag me and let me know because I think that would be super cool to see all of like your recreations, or like I said, even if you just go to someone else to do it on you, like I would love to see their work and see how they um did the design as well. um but anyhow, now back to nail art and the video. um you saw there I pulled out an orange to do the pumpkin. I just did like circles and like ovally type of shapes, but then I also made sure to drag a line up to create that stem. Once I got that on, I cured it for 60 seconds and then went in, and now I'm doing the outline again. Like I said, making sure to outline it so you can tell that it is a pumpkin. Really making sure to outline the stem because, like I said, I feel like the stem is what separates it from just looking like a normal spot to looking like a pumpkin. Um, and low-key, when I was doing this, I wasn't really feeling the black outline. I was thinking I should have done a different color for the outline because I just felt like the black didn't really fit with the green and the orange because these were kind of a little more on the neon side. I don't know, it just wasn't fitting well, but also I didn't really know what other color to use for it. I didn't want to do purple because I felt like that didn't make sense to outline the pumpkins in purple. I thought about doing a darker orange, but I was also like, I don't know, that might be too much orange. Um, Brown might have been alright. I probably could have done brown. Also, I don't know. Maybe black was the way to go. I mean, when I see them all together, I feel like the black works really well, but just seeing this nail on its own, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think the black works very well, like, on its own. Like, if I were to do a whole set of just the pumpkin leopard print, I don't know. Maybe in a whole set, like, it would make sense. Like I said, when I see this nail with the other ones, like the black makes sense, so maybe a full hand of the pumpkin leopard print, like the black would make sense, but just this one nail on its own, it does have me questioning if black was the way to go for it, but you know, that's what I went for. And then after I got all the outlining and spots done, went ahead and cured for 60 seconds. Just like all of the rest of the nails. This is like basically just the same thing over and over again. Do the base, do your spots, do your outlines, and cure for 60 seconds in between. And you do want to make sure when you do the base, you cure that for a full 60 seconds before going on to whatever color you're using for your spots. Since you are adding more layers of polish on top, you don't want that bottom layer to be partially cured and not ever fully get cured because you're layering more on top. Once you get your first set of spots on, you do again want to make sure that you're curing for a full 60 seconds since you're adding that black on top of there, and you want to make sure that it is fully cured before adding any more on, so on and so forth. So whenever you're layering on other colors, you do want to make sure you're curing that first layer of color for the full 60 seconds to make sure that it is fully cured. No matter what kind of nail art you're doing, you want to be making sure that you are doing the full cure. Flash cures are just kind of for like when you don't want something to get messed up, like when you do something really well and you like how it looks and you don't want it to get messed up, so you flash cure real quick and then like continue on. But if you're layering other colors on top of it, you do want to make sure that you do a full 60-second cure. So, like I said earlier, for the bat, I did use my liner brush to do this. It just made sense, and I could get those sharp points for like the bat body and on the wings and for the ears. Whereas I feel like with the dotting tool, it would be more rounded, and I didn't really want it to be rounded. So I just went in, I think, yeah, this is a 9mm liner brush, and just went in and did a basic little bat here. I did a triangle for the body, and then describing how to paint the wings for me is so hard. Um, I don't even know where to begin to describe how I'm painting the wings, so hopefully watching is good enough. Although you can't see whenever I do the, what is that? The left wing, because my fat hand is in the way. But you can see when I do the right wing, and whatever I did for the right wing, I'm just doing over on the side for the left wing. Oh, maybe I found an angle here to where you could see me doing the left wing. I know usually whenever I'm doing like having to do like a mirrored design, whenever I'm doing the left side, my hand tends to get in the way, but like whenever I do a mirrored design, whatever I did on the right side is what I did on the left side, in case you ever can't see what I'm doing um, on that side, unless I say otherwise. But like I said, if it's a mirrored design or like a symmetrical design like a bat, um, it's just the same thing on both sides. For the bats, I do want to say I only did 2 of them because they were pretty large and that was all I could fit. Also, I think I did this on I think this is on the ring nail, so there wasn't a whole lot of space, but like I said, the bats themselves are pretty large. They take up quite a bit of space. So I was only able to get 2 of them on there. Um, I didn't film doing that second bat because just painting the bat itself took a while to get done. And I just felt like that was going to add a whole lot of extra time that I didn't really want to add on. Um, I mean, you can see this video is like 45 minutes long. So that is kind of long for a video for what I usually do. But anyhow, got the bats painted, did all the little spots, cured for 60 seconds, and then for the bats, I was so confused on how to outline them to make them look like bats, but also look like the leopard print spots. And I couldn't I sat there for a long time trying to figure out like how I was going to outline them so they would look like bats, and I just couldn't figure out how to do it. So I just outlined them completely. I didn't outline them like a normal leopard print where you do like the disconnected outline and whatever. So yeah, they are completely outlined all the way through, and I used a liner brush to do that because, like I said, it was just going to be a lot easier to do that for these bats and get those like pointed lines that I was wanting. And then I went back in with my dotting tool to outline the rest of the spots as well as add in all those little extra spots. And then once I got those done, I did go ahead and cure for a full 60 seconds. And then since I did leopard print, I decided to matte top coat these. I always feel like leopard print looks really good matte top coated. It does look really good being shiny top coated as well, but I don't know, I was just feeling the matte top coat for this particular set here. So that's what I did. I used the Nails by Dev matte top coat, applied that to all the nails, and then cured for a full 60 seconds. And I've mentioned before, and you will see here in a little bit, the Nails by Dev matte top coat is a wipe off top coat. So you do have to take a lint-free wipe and some alcohol and wipe the nails off in order to bring out the matte effect. And I absolutely love this matte top coat. If you watch any of my videos where I've matte top coated a design before using this Nails by Dev matte top coat, which I've only been using for about a year now. I got it last year in one of her mystery coffin boxes from Halloween. So any video prior to that I used a matte top coat for, I would always say to wipe them off before applying the matte top coat, because matte top coat has a tendency to cause streaking and like mess up your design. So you do want to wipe off that sticky layer, because that's what's being spread across the nail whenever the design is getting spread on the nail, unless you didn't cure it. But if you did cure it and it's spreading, it's that sticky layer, the inhibition layer, because it is like uncured gel. Because apparently I've read somewhere that the inhibition layer doesn't cure because it's like exposed to the oxygen or like air or whatever, and it doesn't allow it to cure. But then once you add another layer of gel on top of it, then it will cure when you go to cure it, or you can just wipe it off or whatever. But anyhow, I always used to say wipe off your nails, your nail art with alcohol to remove that sticky layer before going in with a matte top coat. But since using the Nails by Dev matte top coat, I don't do that anymore because I don't have to do it. It doesn't smear at all. And I've also heard that these wipe off matte top coats don't smear the designs at all. So definitely look into getting a wipe off matte top coat for that. I don't know if it's like that for all wipe off matte top coats, but it's like that for the Nails by Dev one. It does not smear at all. But anyhow, this is the finished result of this set, and I'm super happy with it. I think they all came out super cute. I absolutely love them. I love them all together as a whole set, but I do also love them individually. The bat one is my least favorite just because it's not really leopard print like when it comes to the bats themselves, but I think it still worked out really well. And like I said, the pumpkin nail, just singular on its own, the black doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But once I see it here all together with the other four, I'm like, yeah, the black does make a lot of sense. And doing any other color wouldn't have made any sense and would have looked really weird. So I don't know. I feel like that's just a me thing, and like, I feel like maybe not everyone else is going to think like that, but if you do think the same thing on the black not working for the pumpkins, let me know what you think, or what color you think would have been better, or like if you do recreate this, like what color you would use for that instead. But like I said, I'm super happy with this set, and I really love it, and I hope you guys did too. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait for you to see all of the other Halloween sets that I have in store for you for these next 30 days.